STUSSY's Allegiance. Hello One Piece enthusiasts, I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about STUSSY. So, I'm gonna continue on with the STUSSY meme because there's a lot going on. And especially after the last chapter 1072, I don't feel like I've talked enough about her, and I've given it more thought, and I think I sort of have an idea of where her character could go, and especially what she's aiming for. At first, we got introduced to STUSSY way back in Whole Cake Island as an underground agent, and well, a lot more has added to that. And before you move on, make sure to like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. So the first time we come across STUSSY was in Whole Cake Island. She was known as the underworld agent of the Pleasure District, head of the Pleasure District. We don't know what that means, and if we do know, I probably don't know because it's been a while. I haven't revisited Whole Cake Island, but she's an underground agent. At that point, it's a new character. She's affiliated with Big Mom, which makes a lot of sense because Big Mom wants to connect with everyone in the world, and you expect someone like Big Mom to have connections with a lot of people. Didn't think of it as much. Then, whatever happened with the Tamati box, that was insane. That was sort of insane. I don't know what that was, like, at this point, it makes no sense to me. Like, whatever she did in Whole Cake Island after the wedding, it's all vague, and I don't have a clear idea of what it is. The second time we get introduced to STUSSY is in Reverie. In Reverie, where she is a CP0 agent. That was a shocker. That was a shocker at that time, but it was again justifiable that, okay, she maybe is a government agent who is a double agent working for the world government, and well, she wants to the world government wanted her to infiltrate the underground world to make sure that, you know, nothing goes out of hand. And as we know, the world government is involved with various underground stuff and very illegal things that are not visible to, like, you know, normal ordinary people, that people have no idea about. Shady business, rather. That also made a little bit of sense. You get the benefit of the underground world through a CP0 agent as well as monitor it at the same time, just so you make sure not too much goes out of hand. At that point, it didn't provide a clear character for her. We didn't know what was designated for her until Egghead. Egghead started, STUSSY got reintroduced, and apparently she knows the layout of Egghead. And we thought, okay, maybe STUSSY was working for Mads, worked for Vegapunk at the time of Mads, and that's why she probably knows about this. And of course, she's a world government agent. Vegapunk having to create Egghead after the world government gave him all the funds, I guess it sort of makes sense. Yes, STUSSY used to work for Vegapunk, that's how she knows about Egghead, and then somehow, one way or the other, she ended up as an agent of CP0. Fair point. Understandable, I like it. And then we know she is a vampire. She is either a vampire, a bat, a demon, or whatever. I don't want to know what it is. But anyways, it's interesting, it's cool. The CP0 got double stabbed. I mean, ironic, considering what Lucci and Kaku did to Iceberg back in Emily's lobby. Get a taste of your own medicine. And I was very happy to see the raw emotion on Lucci's face when that happened, because it was completely out of the ordinary. I don't think any of us expected this, and this is taking a turn for something more serious than we originally thought it would be. She is apparently a clone of Miss Buckingham of the Rocks Pirates. Now, the first impression that most of the people had was that she's a member of the Rocks Pirates, and yeah, she was there, but people had theory that Miss Buckingham is basically Miss Bucking in this era, and that's not apparently a theory. That is definitely true. We can see that, like, it makes very little sense if it was somebody else within the Rocks crew, because the only person like that, similar design, that got introduced into the story is definitely Miss Bucking. We can see the resemblance, and it's fairly interesting. We take it from here. Now her agenda is unclear. We don't know who she's working for. We don't know where her loyalties lie. We don't know what her goal is in Egghead Island. But whatever it is, it's fun to speculate. So, her being a clone of Miss Buckingham, it brings up a question. brings up a question with the fact that, yeah, if you look at it that way, and if she genuinely is a clone of, Ms. Bakin, I don't really, find it hard to understand why Whitebeard, had a kid with her, which is Edward Weevil. Again, that could also be a clone, considering the amount of clone theories that's been going on in the community as of last week. But not the point of this video. The point of this video is, how did Mads get a hand on Ms. Bakin to begin with? Being a part of the former crew of Rocks, we know other infamous pirates like Shiki, like Wang Ji, and Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard. All of them went on to becoming emperors. Some of them got captured, and of course Wang Ji was in Hachinosu doing his own thing. He was probably retired, but he was still infamous. And then you find someone of the Rocks Pirates who is involved with Vegapunk. Now granted, that wasn't with the world government. Mads wasn't a part of the world government, and it's not hard to, you wouldn't expect maybe Ms. Bakin just came to the world government so that she changed her mind. I don't think that's the case. Since it was since it was independent, and considering Vegapunk's reputation, she maybe volunteered to do her cloning. Maybe she was interested in it. Who knows? But that's sort of interesting. That is very interesting of how Vegapunk got a hand of Ms. Bakin to begin with. With that being said, I don't think her connection to Rocks is Rocks Pirate at this point makes very relevant sense, because it's a clone. It's not Ms. Buckingham from the now. It's a clone, so obviously I very rarely doubt it has something to do with the Blackbeard Pirates, because the closest person right now in this era that anyhow resembles Roxy Zebek is Marshall T. Teach. But that connection is severed. I feel like it's gonna go nowhere. But what could happen is either she is the mysterious ally that Vegapunk mentioned, or perhaps Vegapunk knew STUSSY was coming. She is not the mysterious ally, but still is inside of Vegapunk. Otherwise, I don't see any other reason why she would attack Kaku and Lucci at this point. So, yeah, point being, I feel like this could go either one or two ways. One, she is an ally of Vegapunk, not the person Vegapunk mentioned, because again, the person Vegapunk mentioned was staying in Naked Island. That person was a resident of Naked Island in hiding. STUSSY was not in hiding, so it's not STUSSY. The mysterious ally is not STUSSY, and even if it's not her, STUSSY, I feel like, either has another ulterior motive, she's affiliated with somebody else. Maybe it could be the underworld. Maybe it's about time we bring the underworld into play. With most of the obstacles gone for the conquest of Pirate King, Kaido and Big Mom to be specific, I wouldn't mind seeing the underworld coming into play, because the last time we've seen it in play was against Luffy's fight against Doflamingo. We knew Doflamingo was a huge part of the underground world, and so it wouldn't be a bad thing to see what they're up to now, or maybe somehow they are connected to some organizations, maybe the Revolutionaries, or maybe Blackbeard, or maybe their separate identity, who are going to do something insane, just like the Revolutionary Army. But I feel, this is a hardcore feeling, that her alliance lies with Vegapunk, because obviously she is a clone. And remember, Judge is the person in charge of clones. He has done the cloning, and when you're cloning someone, you're definitely making them act in a way where it would benefit you. That's what Judge has done, and I feel like, yeah, Vegapunk wouldn't miss out on that. Vegapunk has definitely programmed STUSSY in a way where she was assigned to do a mission, she's done her job, and now it's time to come back when the time is where it is most necessary for her to be back. I feel like the tides are turning. Kizaru will come into play, and we needed one more ally desperately. This is about to be a fun prospect. I'm ready to see what happens. You guys can speculate all you want, but that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and peace.